I can't believe she did this. Probably a waste of food, but she gave me all these ingredients, and she let me mix up whatever I wanted, and she would actually cook it in the oven and see how it turned out, and she would actually try it, and she was a very brave woman. But the other thing that my other early memory was sitting, especially at family dinners and stuff, sitting in the den and always watching Jacques Cousteau on the TV. I loved it. I mean, it was a world where you could dream up the most crazy monster in your head, and there it was on the screen, and Jacques Cousteau was battling with it underwater. It was incredible. And so I kind of developed these two passions, and I guess in 2004, when the Vancouver Aquarium started coming up with this idea to create a sustainable seafood program in Vancouver, these two worlds for me just collided. And I said, I don't care what I have to do, I need to be a part of this. I'll volunteer, I don't care, I have to be a part of this. Now fast forward, well, 8 years later, I'm still volunteering basically, but the program has really taken off, and we launched the program, launched the idea of OceanWise in 2005 with our founding partner, Chef Robert Clark and Sea Restaurant. And the idea behind it really was to address what was the #1 concern facing our oceans today, the #1 threat that we're facing in our oceans, and that's the threat of overfishing. We simply created a situation where these fleets are so great at catching animals out of the ocean that the ocean just simply can't keep up with the hunt. Now we know that where we sit right now today, 90% of all the large predatory species in the oceans, the tunas, the marlins, the swordfish, the shark, are gone. We're now fishing the last 10% of all of these species and continuing to fish them just as hard. And our fisheries are starting to plummet. The boats are coming back empty without catch in them. And when we think about it, the oceans are really what define us as a planet. That the reason that life exists on this planet, they cover 70% of our planet, and they not only make us unique in the solar system, but they also moderate our climate, and they provide us with food. 1.2 billion people on the planet rely on seafood as their daily source of protein. 1.2 billion people rely on that. So if we get to a point, which scientists predict may happen within the next 50 years, where we have no commercial fisheries because we've wiped them out, because we've simply taken too many too fast. This is going to have devastating consequences on our planet, especially as our populations grow and the need for healthy sources of protein continues to grow. So we can no longer remain ignorant or naive about this. We have to act on this and do something. And the one thing that those scientists that said we could have a complete collapse of our commercial fisheries within 50 years, the one thing that they were quick to say is that's based on current extraction rates of our seafood. If we change the rate at which we're fishing these animals and what we're taking, we change that trajectory. And I guess if I could put it in a nutshell, that's exactly what we're trying to do with OceanWise. And we're trying to do that by appealing to consumers, empowering consumers to make the right choices. But as a consumer, it's very difficult for us to know what is a good sustainable seafood choice. This happens way out in the middle of the ocean, and we have no idea how that seafood is being caught and what the impacts might be, and it just ends up on our plate. So what we decided to do, and this was going out on a bit of a limb for the Vancouver Aquarium, so we decided to try and work with chefs. We decided to go talk to the chefs and see what they would think about the Vancouver Aquarium coming in and helping them make better decisions and deciding what they should and should not put on their plates. And we thought at first, well, maybe they're not going to want the Vancouver Aquarium telling them what to serve on their plates. What was shocking was that they did. They really wanted to know. They needed the help. I mean, the chefs were all passionate about the food that they were serving, not only to make sure that everybody enjoyed it and it tasted good, but at the end of the day, they wanted to know that they were doing it right. And one of the things that chefs are so great at is teaching us about our food, where our food is coming from, and how to make responsible choices with it. We've seen that on land-based for the last 20, 30 years. These ideas like local, seasonal, sustainable, 100-mile, fair trade, organic, these are common languages that we say now in our culinary worlds and when we're selecting food. And we're just starting to get there now with the oceans. And really it's on the back and with our seafood. And really that's being on the backs of these great chefs. The program's completely voluntary. And we don't go out and solicit any businesses. But what happened surprised us. Within the first year, we had 27 local restaurants sign on to the program, and we were getting calls not only from right across Canada, but right across North America and around the world as well, of people saying, we want to get involved with this. We want to learn what we should be serving, and we need help sourcing and finding those items as well. And what we managed to do in only 6 or 7 short years now is grow to the point where we now have 3,100 active locations right across the country, right from Victoria, BC, to St. John's, Newfoundland. And what that means is an incredible amount of buying power. All of our partners that sign on to the program work with us. We go through all of their seafood items. We help them get the most current scientific information on what is a good choice, what isn't a good choice, exactly why it is or isn't. And then we help them find good, sustainable alternatives to them. And with our network of seafood suppliers, producers, farmers, fishermen, we can help connect them with the producers that are doing things right and doing things sustainably. And then in turn, these chefs from restaurants and even grocery stores, markets, put the Oceanwise symbol right beside those items that are the best choices that we can be making with our seafood, so it makes it a no-brainer for us. Makes it easy for us to identify what is the best choice we can be choosing, and in part, we all become a part of the solution. And the one quote that always resonates with me on this is the famous quote by Margaret Mead, where never doubt that a committed group of thoughtful citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. And in this case, with Oceanwise, it's totally true. In 7 short years, with the chefs' support and teaching us about our food, we've started to change the marketplace for seafood in Canada. We're not 100% there yet, but it's changed phenomenally. Maybe I should have one more glass of wine. And what we've found is that's trickled right down through the industry, right to the fisher and farmer. It's allowing them to conduct their operations more sustainably. Oh, definitely another glass of wine. More sustainably, and it's allowing them to get value for their product.